Welcome to our thesis proposal, the use of unmanned aerial vehicle for surveillance and border security, by Daniel Alejandro Rios, Pedro César Ovalle, and Jorge Ernesto Heinrichs. On summary, nowadays it's very common to find a lot of immigrants that are searching for the American dream. Our idea is to implement the use of UAVs with the objective of having a better border surveillance and security system. This because of the facility to implement microphones and cameras on these aircraft. Another thing to consider is that these aircraft do not need pilots. So, the first UAV used for border security was seen in 1920, looking for Mexican Pancho Villa. Later on 1990, while being on a drugs operation, 300 illegal crossers were arrested. This called the attention of Americans, and in 2004, the first UAV for border surveillance was acquired. It was the MQ Reaper, also called as Predator. It was until 2009 that Mexico acquired his first UAV. It was the Hermes. Nowadays, with the Central Americans immigrating from their native countries to the USA, Mexico has enabled the use of UAVs for border surveillance. Our hypothesis relies on the impact on surveillance with the use of UAVs to border security. According to the activity of the drone will perform, we'll select the best vehicle based on their productivity and cost. Some question we need to ask us in order to achieve our hypothesis is the cost per hours of different UAVs and how will this impact border security. Also, we'll take into consideration why has illegal border crossing increased recently, and what are the best options to improve security. Some terms we'll need to get familiar with are UAV, which means unmanned aerial vehicle. Also we got CBP, which means the US Customs and Border Protection. Border, which also is the line separating two political or geographical areas. We got the custom, which are duties or tolls imposed by law on commodities imported and exported. And finally, Sedena, which in Spanish means Secretaría de la Defensa Nacional, is the organism in charge of the armed forces. The meaning of this study is because the UAVs have a lot of potential, talking in terms of surveillance. Another important point is that immigration is a problem nowadays. It keeps increasing every day. This research includes data that may cause harassment to the people in the country that are being mentioned. This because we're talking about poor countries that are in economical crisis. Also, since we're talking about security, the data collected needs to be from the most secure websites. Our timetable for research is the following. First, we'll gather all the information available that helps our research. This includes the investigation of military UAVs as well as the information related to border security. Secondly, an investigation on Mexico's border security system, how the army deploys through the border, as well as the drones that are being used by the Mexico armed forces. And lastly, we are describing the best use of aircraft in border security. This includes a comparison between current national security plan and the best drone that fits the program. Also, we'll describe the cost and how it will impact security. Anticipated problems and limits. There will be occasions that the information we're looking for is not available. This either because if it's confidential because of security terms, or also sometimes it's not made public by the enterprises. As any other project investigation, we'll need resources in order to get our information. Some of these are a high-quality camera, a computer software for data analysis, travel expenses, which include toolbox and car insurance, a car for movement to a border state, and last but not least, an American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics membership in order to get the best research papers. Thank you for your attention.